evening, everyone. So we are on the day two of the workshop. Day one of the workshop has been uploaded on YouTube. You can check the channel and you can subscribe the video and you can like and comment on it. So on day two, we would be covering up with parametric and non-parametric tests. So ma'am would be covering one-way ANOVA, two-way, three-way ANOVA, and COVA and everything. So let's start, ma'am. We can continue. All is
Sure.
yours.
Anybody wants to ask anything about yesterday's session? So I can spend 5 minutes there. Otherwise, we'll go ahead.
Ma'am, I have one question.
Yeah.
Yesterday you had given an example of service quality model rater, right? Reliability, assurance, tangibility, empathy, and
Yeah.
responsiveness. So
Yes.
let's take an example. If I want to add more to dimensions,
Correct.
so which technique I have to apply, EFA
You
or
have to go for
CFA?
EFA. EFA.
So I will have to create a new questionnaire.
No, you cannot. You do not need to create the new questionnaire based on the existing questionnaire and based on the review of
Okay.
literature. You will add a few statements in the existing questionnaire. Correct.
Okay. So I will add few variables or indicator variables,
Yes.
and on which
Yes.
I will get some new dimensions, right?
Yes. Because your study demands that.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. That's all.
Okay. So in today's session, we are going to cover about various parametric and non-parametric tests. So running these tests is actually very easy. I'll just show you one test how to run it, but in which situation we need which test. So understanding that is actually more important. So we'll start with the t-test first. So anybody has any understanding about t-test, that in which situation we have to use t-test? Any idea about it?
Ma'am, for comparison of two populations
Okay,
with means, whether the means are
okay,
same or not.
okay, fine. Anything else?
To compare sample mean with the population mean in case of independent sample t-test.
Fine. What do we understand by this independent and pairing? What is the meaning of this?
Uh, in independent sample t-test, basically we are trying to compare our population mean, our sample mean with the population mean. In case of pair sample t-test, we are trying to collect the information from the same individual at 2 point of time. In
Okay,
case of pre and post kind of scenario.
okay,
Independent, I think
okay.
when we compare the data or means between gents and ladies, I think that is independent test. Am I correct?
Okay, okay, we'll see.
Thank you.
Ma'am, so sorry. In case of independent
Yeah,
sample t-test, we are basically comparing difference of mean among two different groups. And I was talking about one
okay,
sample t-test. So sorry.
okay. So now we start. Today's session is little lengthy because we have to cover so many tests today. Okay, so wherever you want me, any doubts that you can ask me. Otherwise, I will assume that you are understanding. Okay, so I'll just quickly share my screen. So whatever test we are going to cover today, whether it is one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA, three-way ANOVA, mixed ANOVA, or the ST test. So basic thing is that they all tell us the difference between group, that what is happening between groups. Yesterday, you remember how many variables I told you, SPSS point of view, I told you about three types of variables. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am. Nominal,
Yeah,
ordinal, and scale.
yeah. So, if you want to, let us say that you are telling me that, yeah, online shoppers are of this income category, income influences online shoppers. But it is not like that all your respondents are having same income or all your respondents are having same gender. or all your respondents are having same age. Okay, getting it?
Yes, yes.
So now what you want to know? You want to know more. If I use the correct word, cross-sectional view of your data. Okay,
Yes.
longitudinal you have already got from your data sheet that these many respondents are there. You can run a factor analysis, correlation, regression, all those things are fine. But if I want to see that between groups, what is happening, what my male are telling, what females are telling, what this age group is telling, what that age group is telling, what this income group is telling, what this religion is telling, or what that occupation is telling. Okay, so in that case, I want to know that what is happening in between all these groups. If I tell you that gender influences online shopping behavior. So if I say yes, if gender does not influence, then no problem. But if at all gender influences online shopping behavior, in that case, I am more interested in knowing about this. That whether male are more interested or female are more interested. What kind of behavior they show. Getting it. So in that case, I want to go into more deep analysis of my data. So in these things, I use these kind of tests. So which helps me to know more or dig more about my data. So you can have a small objectives in your study based on those small objectives. You will have a straightforward test. That test you apply on your data, and then you get the desired result. And running these tests is, as I told you, very easy it is. Okay, I'll just show you the tabs. Basically, you need to know, understand this, in which situation, which test we have to use. So that is the most important thing here. So this is a complete list of tests if you see here. Uh, Paired sample t-test is there, repeated measures of ANOVA, independent sample, one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA, factorial, three-way, mixed ANOVA, one-way ANOVA, ANOVA. All these tests are there. So now in this, we are going to see about independent t-test. So independent t-test, here you see a data sheet, screenshot is there, gender is given and engagement is given. So if you see what kind of scale they have used, for gender they have used of course nominal, because you cannot measure gender in terms of number or neither you can give it in an order. So gender always remains a nominal scale. And what kind of engagement rate they show. Okay. Male are the different respondents have been taken, their gender has been captured, and their engagement rate has been analyzed. So one is nominal scale, another one is scale variable. Okay,
Ma'am,
so
how
you
they
see,
have measured engagement like 5.29, 5.45? How they have
uh,
derived those numbers?
see, it is a kind of engagement rate which they have observed, or they would have given them a score that it can be anything. It's a scale variable. So if I ask you that you have watched this movie, okay, and now I'm telling you that what kind of engagement you felt while watching this movie. So you are giving me a score,
Okay.
understanding? So you are giving me a number, whichever you like.
Yes, ma'am,
But
understood.
there is no formula of engagement or what I have. It's just a number based on the user experience of that particular respondent. Right? So now this type of data has been given. Now you want to see that what is happening with this data. So first you need to understand your data. So an advertising agency is commissioned to create a TV advertisement to promote a new product. Since the product is designed for men and women, the TV advertisement has to appeal to men and women equally. To achieve this, the TV advertisement is shown to 20 men and 20 women, who are then asked to fill in a questionnaire that measures their engagement with the advertisement. So, since the advertisement agency needs the advertisement to be similarly engaging, they hope there is no difference. Did you understand the context of study? In which context this data has been taken? They want equal engagement rate. So they want to see whether it is independent or it is dependent. They want to see the
Independent, na?
engagement rate. No, that we have to see using our test. Okay. So now this is our data we have taken. So you want to determine whether there are any statistical significant differences between the population mean of male of that of female. So you understood the objective of the test? Why we are
Yes, ma'am.
conducting independent sample t-test. That is the objective. So my objective to conduct this test is that I want to know whether male and female are showing same engagement rate or they are showing different engagement rate. That's all. Nothing else. Okay. So
And they are independent of each other. Huh? Am I correct, ma'am?
yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is independent t-test.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So independent t-test we are discussing now. So we have made hypothesis. So the population means of the two groups are equal, which means there is no difference. Both are showing same engagement rate. Second one, the population means of the two groups are not equal, which means both are showing different engagement rates. Is it clear?
Very much
Yes,
clear.
ma'am.
So now what happens? You select a test. So the independent sample t-test is used to determine if a statistically significant difference exists between the means of two independent groups on a continuous dependent variable. So you need to understand the nature of data. See what happens that our guide tells us that you conduct t-test, you conduct this test, you conduct that test. But each test has its own data requirement also. So when you're collecting the data, before that you need to have a plan for analysis. How that plan for analysis will come? It will come from your objective. What you want to achieve in your research. Based on that, you make a plan for analysis and your questionnaire. So you need to also understand the requirement of the data. So when you are conducting independent test, in that case, what you need one odd, ordinal or nominal variable, and another one should be a continuous variable, like an engagement rate. Getting it? Then you can run independent sample t-test. So this test is also known by a number of different names. You can call it as independent t-test, independent measure t-test, between subject t-test, and unpaired t-test. So there are two tests. One is independent t-test, and another one is paired t-test. So that is why we call it as unpaired t-test also. So unpaired or paired t-test. These are the two categories. For t-test, which is independent t-test. So here you can see that what all you need. I want you people to make a small note also. So in independent t-test, what we have done, what was the requirement of the data? So here you have taken gender and you have taken engagement rate. Why you, if you make a small note, when
मैम आवाज नहीं आ रही.
Varsha ma'am, you are not audible.
I think you have muted. You have to unmute.
Hello. I need to call her actually.
Varsha ma'am, you have to unmute yourself.
I didn't mute myself. I don't know how it happened. Sorry.
No issue.
Okay. So I was telling you about the just make a small note in your notebook that
Yeah.
what test we are doing and what it does. So 1122 line ka note if you take, in that case, in the end, it will be easy for you people to compare that what all we have done.
Okay.
Fine. So it becomes easy for you to compare. So just make a table kind of thing. Also, you can make it a notebook. So for a reference. So we are covering right now independent t-test and gender and engagement rate we have taken, and we want to see that whether male and female are showing same behavior or different behavior. So if we have taken two hypotheses, null and in alternate. So null means there is no difference. Alternate means yes, there is difference. So this much you understood? So we'll go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
So these are the various names we call it. As I was telling you that we have paired t-test and unpaired t-test. So this independent sample t-test. So now what sample I have taken, if you see the nature of the sample, gender and engagement rate. Okay. So gender is also not dependent on anything, and engagement rate we will see that how it works with the different genders, male and female. So check your data requirements. So one dependent variable, that is categorical variable. Okay. So this is your independent variable, sorry, which is categorical variable, and dependent variable, that is continuous variable. So this is the nature of your data, which you need to remember. If you are going for t-test, this is what you need to have in your data sheet. In this format, you have to capture the data. Done? So independence of observation, and these are the things which you need to check. The independence of observations, no outliers, normal distribution, and equal variance of the groups. This is clear? So the data requirement is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
So now how do we run it? The same sheet I have, that also we will run. So we go to analyze. In analyze, we go to descriptive statistics. There you get explore. So there you can put your engagement as a dependent and gender as factor. And then you can also go for normality plot with test. And this we are doing so that we can check the normality of the data, because for t-test, independent t-test, the data has to be normal. So how do we detect the outliers or test for normality? This is how you do it. So you go to analyze, descriptives, explore, there what is your dependent, what is your independent or factor, and normality plot with test. So once you click it, you get your outliers. So in male, you have one, and in female also you got one outlier. And what is the meaning of outlier? We all know that whichever is very much far, like this, a small box you get, that person or that respondent is known as the outlier. So respondent number 26 and respondent number 6 is the outlier. So we need to remove these outliers so that our data becomes normal, and then you can go for executing the independent t-test, and then you will come to know that whether male and female are showing different engagement rates or they are showing same engagement rate. So if your test is if your data is normally distributed, in that case this is the test which we get. We call it as Wilk-Shapiro test, where significance value, this is the only test where your significance value should be more than 0.05. Every time else we prefer p-value or significance value to be less than 0.05 to become a data significant.
Hello,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, before applying this test, especially t-test, we have to observe the we have to calculate the sample size. Like it is saying that if the sample size is less than 30, then you can apply t-test. Is there any
Yeah.
criteria like this?
See, they say that around you should have 30 for running t-test.
Like if we have a sample size of 30 or less, then we have to apply the t-test for that.
No, 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 not like that. Not like that. That is the minimum requirement. You can do go
Minimum.
more also. Yeah. 30
Okay,
has to be.
30 is the minimum requirement for this test.
Yes,
So,
yes.
okay. Thank you, ma'am.
It is not like that you have 30, so you will apply independent t-test, and you have 300, then you will go for some other test. No, not like that. But
Okay, like
the what
some
happens that
yeah.
what happens? These kind of studies are experimental studies.
Okay.
So generally, the sample size is less.
Okay. Okay. Okay,
You
ma'am.
get it? So what
Yeah,
is
yeah.
happening there? Let us say you're showing. Let us say you take a training session right now.
Okay,
So
okay.
let us say I'm taking a 2-hour training session for 30 people. So
Hmm.
before 2 hours, how was their understanding about the same topic, and after 2 hours, how is their understanding? So I'm just capturing it. Okay, so in that case, whenever you are going for experimental studies, your sample size is generally less,
Okay.
30 to 50 like that.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am.
You will never have a sample size of 500 or 1000 the way you have in normal study.
Hmm.
So these are
Because
the
some people used to say, na, if you have less than 30, then you will apply T test. If you have more than, then you have to apply Z test for that.
no, not like that. Not like
Okay.
that.
Okay. Okay.
So this test has an objective why we are conducting a test.
Okay.
So it is not dependent on your sample
Sample
size.
size. Okay.
Yeah, but the literature of review, if you find out, most of the studies will have a sample size between 30 to 50 because experimental studies are only suggesting this much data.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am, I have one question. Like, if I'm covering 30 universities, okay,
Yeah.
30, and but I'm asking questions from students, like faculties, higher authorities, overall 300 persons. Then, what would be the my sample size? It would be 30 for the universities, or it would be 300 from like whom I collected the data.
Can you repeat your question?
Like, ma'am, I selected 30 universities for collecting the data, like 30 private and state universities. Then, but I got filled the questionnaire from the students, faculties, and higher authorities.
Okay.
So in that condition, what would be like? What would be my sample size? Like, I will consider a university's size like 30 would be sample, or I should consider like students and faculty and higher authorities count.
Depends what kind of test you are targeting. See, as I told you that let us say you're going for cluster analysis, or you're going for strata sampling, or you
Okay.
are dividing them into groups, or how you are treating your sample are all same for you, or you are dividing them into 30 groups. If you're dividing them into 30 groups, then of course you need to have at least 10 to 20 from each group. But if
Group.
you are just for you, if it is just everybody is same from all the universities, in that case does not matter.
But like what should I mention? That my sample size would be universities numbers or the persons from whom I collected the
Both you have
data.
to tell. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That let us say that you are going to measure service quality in schools. Okay.
Okay.
So in that case, what you have done that you have captured 500 people from
Okay.
30 universities.
Okay.
But in this case, 500 is your sample size. This 30 becomes just an information.
Just the information.
Yeah. So what happens that let us say in your city you have 200 colleges. Out of
Mm-hmm.
200 colleges, you have taken top 30
Mm-hmm.
because it cannot happen that one study which you are conducting for education institutions to measure their service quality, you are doing it
Mm.
from one college. You have to go to different colleges.
Okay.
So like that, you need to have a number. So let us say 200 colleges are there, so 10% or more than that you have taken. So 20 colleges you have taken, and then from each college, let us say one college has only 50 faculty, another college has 500 faculty.
Mm-hmm.
So in that proportion, you are taking sample from them.
So I have to mention both. Like I
Yeah.
selected 30 colleges
Yes.
and
Yes.
I
When
collected data
you,
from five.
yeah, yeah, when
Okay.
you're defining your research methodology, that time you need to mention in your sample size section that how you
Okay.
have taken
Okay. Okay. Thank
on
you, ma'am.
ground, on what ground you have taken the data.
Okay, on a strata basis. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Thank you, ma'am.
so now again I go back to the slide. Yeah, so as I told you that normality test we have taken here. So if the more the values are more than 0.05, which means it is significant, which means your data is normal. So you have detected the outliers, you have checked the normality, which means your data is normal. Okay. So now we go for conducting the independent sample t-test. So as I told you, it is very easy to run. Just go to Analyze tab, compare means. In compare means, you will have different things. So here you have independent sample t-test. So just click there, and then you select. Okay. So what is your test variable? You want to test engagement. on what basis you are grouping it. You are grouping it on the basis of gender. So once you click on gender, it tells you to define groups. So define groups means group 1 is male, group 2 is female. Okay, it can be any group. So like that, you have to define the group. So group 1 is who, group 2 is who. So gender has only 2 groups. So based on that, you have defined it. Okay. And then if you go, so once you run it, this kind of a statistics you get. So gender, male and female, engagement rate, sample size for male 20, female 20, and the mean value is given, standard deviation is given, standard error is given. So data are mean plus minus standard deviation unless otherwise stated. So there were 20 male and 20 female participants. Mean male engagement rate score is 5.56 plus minus 0.291. That is a deviation. So it was higher than female. Okay. So mean score is for male it is high. For female it is low. Engagement rate score we are talking about. We have taken the mean of that and standard deviation. So the next table comes for your descriptor. So where mean values are given, and then you need to focus on the variance. So for male, the variance is 0.085 and female, the variance is 0.155. And also, if you see the significance value, that is 0.174. So now what happens, what it means. So there was homogeneity of variance for engagement score for males and females as assessed by Leibniz test for equality of variance. So p-value is 0.174. Okay. So if the data is not normal and or outliers are many, Mann-Whitney U-test you need to conduct. If the data is with the unequal variance and substantial unequal group sizes, Welch t-test we conduct. These are situational tests. Okay, if your data is not normal or many outliers exist, or if the data is with the unequal variance and substantial unequal group sizes are there. So in this case, your p-value you need to focus, which is 0.174. So this is your independent sample t-test significance value. Okay. So what did we see? So independent sample size value, if you see that significance value, if you remember our hypothesis, we told that if it is below 0.05, which means it is significant. If it is more than 0.05, it is not significant. So here we are getting significant value or non-significant value?
Significant value.
Huh?
Significant because it is
Significant
less than
value. Significant value means whether there is a difference in engagement rate of male and female or not.
yes.
Yes, which means that yes, on the basis of gender, there is difference in engagement rate, which means that male and female show different engagement rate for same TV advertisement.
Right. So alternate hypothesis is proved in this case.
Yes, so this is what is my conclusion from this test.
Ma'am, in this case, in the yellow portion, you have mentioned about calculations mean plus standard deviation, standard error.
Yes, yes, yes.
So it is only one sigma. It means right.
One sigma means
Mean plus standard deviation. It is standard deviation or standard error. 0.29.
that is standard deviation we saw now in the last slide. If you go see here.
Yes. So, madam, only one standard deviation we have to take. Mean plus one
Yeah,
standard.
this is the common. Yeah, this is the common for all 20 people.
Okay, madam.
Plus and minus both the sides.
Okay.
Similarly, for female, it is 5.3. So it is for all 20 female.
Okay.
So here only we see it gives us hint that mean value is different, which means that who is showing more engagement? These people are showing more engagement.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Male.
So this is how we interpret it. So just you need to press 3-4 buttons in SPSS and your t-test comes, and then you just need to focus on your mean value, standard deviation and significance value. Based on that, you can just make a conclusion on your hypothesis. Nothing else you need to see here. Okay, so these are the formulas. If you want to enter into formula size, how it all the values have come. Okay, so this is how it is. So these are the formulas. So how the effect size is being calculated? So effect size M1 minus M2. So what is M1, M2? Mean 1, mean 2, okay, minus S pooled. What is S pooled? S pooled has come from this formula where S1, S2, N1, N2 is there. So what is S1? Standard deviation 1, standard deviation 2, and the sample size 1, sample size 2. So when you put all the values, you get your S pooled. S pooled value is 0.346. So when you put your mean values and your what do you say S pooled value, you get the effect size. So here effect size is coming as 0.748. So here is the strength of effect size. So our effect size is in this range, close to 0.748, which means that effect size is large.
What is the meaning of effect size, ma'am?
The kind of difference which you are seeing in these two groups,
Okay.
okay, how strong it is,
Okay. The
whether it is okay, or you can ignore it or not. See, let us say that TV engagement rate, male and female, you showed them an advertisement and female have not shown much interest. That is the meaning of the study.
okay, that means there is a large difference of
Yes,
engagement between
yes,
males and in this data.
yes, 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 yes. Okay. So what marketer want to do, what advertising agency wants to do about it. So based on this study, they can take their scope of improvement, that what they want to do in future. Fine. So what is the practical and statistical significance? Although statistically significant difference was found between males and females in their engagement scores, the advertisement company concluded that the mean difference between the 0.26 was of little practical importance. So therefore, the advertising company told the client that advertisement had a similarly engaging effect on males and females alike. So remember, just because a result is statistically significant does not necessarily follow that it is practically important. So statistically significance really one indicates whether the result is not likely due to sampling error, which although important in its own right, does not indicate how strong the differences are. So this is where confidence intervals can help out, as they not only provide most of the information of the statistical test, but also provide information on the magnitude of the difference. So what happens here that although statistically we are getting a difference, but when advertising agency is looking at the data, for them they are thinking that no, not much difference we see here, so we will give it as the equal importance. So that's how they conclude the study. So how they do it? They are just running the confidence interval study there, and see, you see here confidence interval is 95%, and they have taken gender and engagement both. So here they see both are almost the same, group 1 and group 2. So when they run the graph, so what now this conclusion has come on the base of difference in the mean value. If I go back, if I show you the difference in mean value, so this difference they are just looking at. So they are telling that it is very close. Okay. So advertising agency is ruling out of any opportunity of differences between their opinions. So this is another way by which you can, so it depends again on the researcher. Here advertising agency has taken the decision, and in this case researcher can also conclude that yes, mean value has not much difference, because the mean value is between 5.5 and 5.2 and difference is very less, which is 0.236 something. So in that case I conclude that yes, there is no much difference. So I treat them both as C. That's how it is. So this is what exactly they tell here. So data are mean plus minus standard deviation unless otherwise stated. So there were 20 male and 20 female participants, and an independent sample t-test was run to determine if there were differences in engagement to an advertisement between males and females. So there were no outliers in the data assessed by inspection of a box plot. The engagement scores of each level of gender was normally distributed, and the p-value was 0.174. So the advertisement was more engaging to male viewers, as if you look at the mean value, and a statistically significant difference of 0.26 was found out. Okay, so this is how they have concluded. The p-value is 0.023, D is that is effect size 0.75, and T is 2.36. So there was a statistically significant difference between means, and therefore we can reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis. This is what I am concluding based on my data analysis. Yes, there is difference between male and female. Is this much clear? So is independent sample t-test is clear to everybody?
Clear to me.
Ma'am, what was our null hypothesis in previous test you told us, which was
That
rejected?
there is no difference between male and female engagement rate.
Okay, there is no difference.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
correct. So this is how we have.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I understood everything, but I would request you if you will open the data set on SPSS and
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
will process, it would be more helpful for everyone, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. Just a second. I just. Okay, so this is the sheet is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
the same sheet which we were talking about. So gender is given, engagement rate is given, and total sample is 40 here. So gender and engagement rate is given here. So as I told you that if you want to analyze your normality test, go to descriptive. There you go to explore, and dependent is engagement rate, factor test, gender. Then you go for outliers you want to see, plot you want to see, histogram if you want to see. You this one will click normality plot with test. So this is the important thing which I'm looking this test. Okay, and also I will run the t-test here. I'll go to analyze, and all the tests which we are doing you will get here only, compare means. So here we have done our independent sample t-test. So just click here, and test variable is engagement, grouping variable is gender, and we need to define group, so where group 1 is for male, and second group. This is how your result has come. So first of all, we run the descriptive. So here, as I told you that test for normality, this is the normality test has come. Significance value for Wilk-Shapiro test, we need to focus here. It is more than 0.05, which means test is significant, which means your data is normal. This is one way to check your data normality. Okay. And then another
Ma'am,
way
here
is
we
that
have two, sorry to disturb you, ma'am. Here we have Kolmogorov and Shapiro. So which we have to see?
Wilk-Shapiro only. This one.
We will only Shapiro. And what is Kolmogorov, Smirnov?
See, that comes automatically as the normality test, but we do not consider these values. We only focus on Shapiro bill because as per the review literature, this one is the most appropriate measure for normality.
Okay.
So now, if you go for QQ plot, more or less it becomes normal because everything is near only, and then your QQ plot also comes here. Let's see how your data looks. Yeah, this is your box plot. Here also no outliers are seen, so it means my data is normal, and this is my t-test which has come here. So we need to focus on mean difference, and this is your p-value that we told that significance value for Lebanese test 0.174, and then how it has. This is how you run the test, and how do we conclude, how do we interpret the result, that I have already told you. Correct?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, in this table, independent sample test, there is a Levin test F, and its significance value is there. What it represents, ma'am?
Didn't get. You're talking about Leibniz value, what it represents.
Yeah, Levin's test for equality of variance.
Huh. See the variance, whether it is a significant variance or not.
Okay, and in this case, what the significance value is given, and F test value is given. What it represents?
F test value is 0 and
In this table, there is F test value and significance value is given, and there are two columns: equal variance assumed and equal variance not assumed.
okay. See, this is the test when you run, it gives you all the scenarios, all the possibilities. That when you are assuming this thing, what happens? When you're not assuming this thing, what happens? But we need to see on the end result. We are not doing the situation analysis.
Okay.
Okay. So this is your independent test is done, and then we go for paired t-test now. So now we need to see after 2-3 tests you will become comfortable, and then you will see that how in which scenario I need to run which test. Now this is not visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it's visible now. Paired sample t-test. So this is our next thing. Okay. This is parametric t-test, why we run it and in what context we do it. Paired sample t-test. Earlier one was non-paired sample t-test. So it used to determine whether the mean differences between paired observations is statistically significantly different from 0. The participants are either the same individuals tested at two time points before and after. So basically here what happened, you showed the advertisement to male and female. So one time you just captured whether in between their gender was there any difference. Here what you are doing, you are taking 50 people, you show them advertisement. Before advertisement you ask their opinion, and after advertisement you ask their opinion. Okay. So here what happens that two different conditions you are giving them, okay, on the same dependent variable. So alternatively, you could have two groups of participants that have been matched paired on one or more characteristics, IQ, age, gender, and tested on one dependent variable. So it is also known as dependent t-test. A clear one was independent t-test. Okay. So, in which case it happens that determine if there are any changes over time between two related groups. So we start with a sample. So there are 5 people there and time 0.1. So measure the dependent variable. So for each participant in your sample, and what happened at time 0.1, and the same sample, what happened at time 0.2. So measure the same dependent variable again. Okay. So, and then finally, use descriptive statistics and a paired sample t-test to determine changes over time. So before the event occurred, before that what happened, and after that what happened. Let us say you have given them a training. Okay. So before training how it was, and after training how it is. And then are the scores on the dependent variable different between the two time points, between the two related groups? Is the mean score higher or lower at time point 2? So what is the statistical significance? Is the difference is statistically significant? So basically you understood the agenda, why we are running this paired sample t-test? Is it
Yes,
clear to
ma'am.
everybody? The requirement of
Yes,
paired
yes.
sample t-test? Okay.
It is clear, ma'am.
Exactly. It should be crystal clear when we are running independent t-test and when we are running paired sample t-test. Okay. So here what we are doing is same sample. Just a second. Give me a. Okay. So the requirement for both the test is clear, correct? Sample t-test. Am I
Ma'am,
audible?
here we are,
Yes,
ma'am,
ma'am.
here we are focusing on independent variable. That's why we are calculating the pair t-test, which is also called dependent t-test.
Yeah.
And
Same.
previously we were focusing on independent variable. That's why
Yes.
we are calculating the independent t-test.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Fine. So here the same sample you are taking 2 times and you are just seeing the effect that what has happened. Okay.
Okay. We have
So
the male and female both types.
correct.
Okay.
Fine. So this is how it is. And then difference between two treatments or conditions linear. So what happens that it is the same that for each participant in your sample, you have just given them same dependent variable. Let us say you are measuring their communication skills or something like that. So two studies basically you conduct here, and then you need to compare. Okay.
Okay.
The difference between two treatments or conditions crossover. So start with the sample. So split the sample randomly into two equally sized groups. So group 1 and group 2. And then explore the two groups to the first condition and measure the dependent variable. Okay, so group 1 exposed to treatment A and group 1 is also exposed to treatment B. And then group 2 is also exposed to treatment B and then treatment A. Okay, so then expose the two groups to the first condition and measure the dependent variable. Expose the two groups to the second condition and measure the dependent variable. So this first time, this is second time. Okay. So now what is happening? Use descriptive statistics and the paired sample t-test to determine difference between conditions. Are
Ma'am,
the score?
we are
Yeah.
unable to see the screen. Can you please share the screen?
Okay. Sorry.
No problem. And ma'am, in this case, in pair sample t-test, both the variable should be continuous, or it can be
Uh,
ordinal also.
yeah,
It can
that
be
also
either
we'll see
ordinal
that.
or
Yeah,
continuous, right?
yeah, that we'll see the data. It's visible now?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so what I was telling is that you have taken a sample. So this is the total sample here. You have divided this sample into, split into two groups. Okay, and then both the groups you give them treatment. for the experiment which you are running. Expose the two groups to the first condition and measure dependent variable. Okay, and expose those the second group also. And then you need to, what you need to actually find out? You need to find out descriptive statistics and paired sample t-test and determine whether there is any difference between conditions. So are the scores on the dependent variable different between the two conditions, between the two related groups? Which group mean score is higher or lower? So statistical significance is the difference statistically significant. So what I mean to say here is that let us say that you have 100 people. So 50 you have taken at a time and 50 at a time you have taken, and then you are just matching. Are both the groups behaving same or different after this experiment? So you need to compare it. So what is the example here we have taken? So researcher wants to test a new formula for a sports drink that improves running performance. So instead of a regular carbohydrated only drink, this new sports drink contains a new carbohydrate protein mixture. So to do this, the researcher recruited 20 participants who each performed two trials in which they had to run as far as possible in 2 hours on a treadmill. Okay, so what I repeated, uh, 20 participants the researcher has, and two trials in which they had to run for 2 hours on a treadmill. So in one of the trials, they drank the carbohydrate only carb, and the other trial they drank carbohydrated protein drink. And now the researcher wants to know if there is a mean difference between the carb and carb protein scores. Did you understand? It
Yes,
is the
ma'am.
same sample, 20 people. So first they are drinking this carb drink, and then they run on the treadmill. Another time they drink this carb protein drink, and then they run on the treadmill. And then we need to compare it.
Okay, situations.
Yeah. So now whether there is any difference in their performance, if there is a difference, which means that whatever you have promised with your drink, that is fulfilled. If there is no difference, which means there is no difference between your drink. Correct. So
मैडम
what
मैडम
happens that
मैडम
yeah,
what is the name of that test जो आपने पीछे डायग्राम में दिखाया ना मैम?
paired sample t-test.
Okay. No, before and after analysis it is shown, na?
Yeah, it is paired sample t-test only.
Okay.
So how do we run it? Paired sample t-test, target variable, a difference. So you need to just mention it, okay, which diet you are taking here, and then you need to see the score, carb and carb protein, and what is the difference coming here. Okay, how it so what we have to do manually. Okay, target variable difference equal to carb protein minus carb. So the difference for each respondent will come in their performance. So let us say that it is a time measured, okay, or the kilometers they're completed into 2 hours on treadmill. So if they only drink carb drink, in that case they can run 10.58 kilometer. But if they are sorry, so maybe it is a time or something like that. So we need to see that performance score. So what is the difference here? Okay, how much time they have taken. So that we need to see. So what happens that again we have to check for normality. Again we have to go for box plot. Again we have to go for the same test. As I told you, how do we run this test? Explore you go, and there you just click it. So you go to explore, you go for difference, okay, and then you just run your Shapiro-Wilk test if it comes significant. So which means that the difference scores for carbohydrate only and carbohydrate protein drug trial were normally distributed. So the difference is normal. We will run this test. So paired variables, there are two variables we have, carb protein and carb diet only. Okay. This swapping will mean that any positive differences reflect a greater distance run in the carbohydrate protein trial rather than the carbohydrate only trial. So here you see that a few people, they ran more. after having this carb protein diet. Few people, see, the first case, if you see, the performance is less. Second case, if you see, this person has could run more on treadmill. Okay, again increased. So like this it is. So this is our statistics which comes after running the paired sample t-test. The mean values we have and the standard deviation. So this is the mean deviation for both the drinks. Carbohydrate protein it is 11.30 and carbohydrate only. So basically if you want to summarize your result, so those who have taken this drink, they could run 11.30 plus minus 0.714. And those who have consumed only carbohydrate and only drink, they have only taken 11, they could only run 11.16 kilometer. So definitely our result says that performance has improved, correct? These people could run more. And again, it is significant. So this means that both the groups are showing significant difference in their performance after having this protein drink. So the performance is improved.
Ma'am, here we are using two-tail test in this paired
Okay.
sample t-test.
That is your choice. You can go for one tail, two tail, not a problem.
Okay.
Sometimes what happens that normally we go for two tail, but sometimes just if our result is not good, we go for one tail also.
But if we go for one tail test, then we have to divide significance level. Sorry, p value by half, na ma'am.
Yeah.
So that's the significance of asking this.
It dilutes basically your result. That's it.
Yes.
So let us say if your result is not coming significance at two tail, you can try it for one tail. So sometimes it comes significant.
But here we want to test our hypothesis as whether performance is equal in both the cases, whether the mean running rate is different. So it is a case of two-tail test.
Yes. Okay, so basically we have found out a difference here. Okay, again the same formula we are using to calculate the effect size and all. So normally what you need to focus here is you need to focus in which situation you are using paired sample t-test and what kind of data you need. Okay, so here you need to have continuous data, which means that numbers. Okay, and then only you can calculate the difference. So this is how you will report, which I have already told you. It is more or less same only. Okay, so in first case, how much is the mean value and deviation? In second case, how much is the mean value and deviation? And what is the significance value, whether there is difference or not. So if you see the mean difference was statistically significant, different from zero, and therefore, see if I tell you that mean value difference is zero, which means there is no difference. So there is a difference, which means we accept the alternative hypothesis.
Madam, in bracket you are writing point confidence interval, then 0.0912 to 0.0180.
Yeah.
Is it required, ma'am, to go into such?
No.
It is only for explanation.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
So basically, this is the significance. Okay. So how you want to see as a practical, let us see as a company owner, and after this study, what inference you want to take. So statistically significant mean difference was found between the mean distance run when two different sports drinks were consumed. So it is important to understand whether the size of this mean difference has practical importance. Okay, so just the result is statistically significant. It does not necessarily follow that it is practically important. So that company will decide whether they are looking for this much difference or not. What was their target? Okay. So what they are concluding is that the performance enhancement of the carbohydrate protein drink was probably only important for highly fit runners and would not be as important for recreational runners. This is how they interpret it. So this is all we have done already.
Ma'am, I have one doubt. Like, what is the letter D in the interpretation? Can you explain that? In the previous slide, slide, in the interpretation slide, we had D. You have calculated D, right? It was 1.42, I guess.
Yeah, you want to see the calculation again?
Ma'am, what does that D represent?
Okay, okay. I'll just take you there.
Okay.
This D you are talking about, huh? That's a defect size.
Okay.
That I just,
In
as I told you
yeah,
that the strength of the difference or the let us say here you are getting is 0.748.
okay.
So they say that statistically this effect is strong.
So it is close to point 0.8. That's why we have effect size 2. It is point 0.2 or it is 2?
It is 0.8, 0.748.
No, no,
This is
I
the
can
value.
see that, ma'am. But down we have a table, right, where we have
Yeah, that is
effect
a
size
range.
and
Yeah,
strength.
it is for range.
Yeah, so it is 2, 5, and 8, or it is point 2, point 0.5, point 0.8.
Yeah, 0.2, 0.2, 0.5, 0.8.
So 0.748, it is closer to point 0.8.
Yes,
So the
yes,
strength is
yeah,
large, is it?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Done. So this much is clear now. So I think the interpretation for paired sample and independent t-test is clear.
Ma'am, regarding interpretation, whether it is fit for recreational or uh, fit professional runners, so
Yeah.
that data, that information is available to a researcher, or it is just
No, as I
taken
again
from?
told you that again it is see, let us say you're working for a company. You are a
Okay,
salesman for that company, and
okay,
you have conducted the experiment. So
okay,
after that, what conclusion you would draw?
okay. But pointing out
For
the
our
correct.
purpose, we are only interpreting the our statistics.
Okay, but the interpretation which you gave, that
Yeah.
the company decided that the difference is only 136 meters, so they
Yes.
thought like that. So that thought process of management is not known to generally researcher. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes. Like let us say you are working for a company only.
Hmm.
So in that case, how will you conclude?
Okay, so then
So,
based on
so
the discussion,
only yeah. So if you see the result in 11 kilometers, if you are only improving the performance by 100 meters,
huh,
does it make sense to sell this product in market?
not necessarily, not necessarily. It
Yeah.
may be a niche product, then it is worth.
Yes.
But
Yes.
from the long-term point of view, based on this conclusion, I think we know not.
Yes. Yes. So we are looking at the practical importance as well as the theoretical importance.
Okay, so
So
based on
theoretically, yes. Yeah.
oh, based on discussions, you might have written down
Yes.
all these things.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, in pair sample t-test, we got the D value as 1.42.
Hmm.
So now we don't have 1.42 in the table. As you said, we have point 0.2,
So
0.4,
it is
and
more. That is strength.
so it is
High.
more than 0.8.
Yes.
So the
Yes.
strength is high, is it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
You want me to run the test or it is fine?
It is fine, ma'am. I
Okay.
understood. I don't know about others.
Yeah. Because it is more of the
No, no,
same
it
thing.
is fine. It is fine. It is fine because more important is interpretation of the data.
Yeah. 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 That's what I was just trying to tell you that how to run the test. It is very easy step. So in what context you apply which test, that we have to understand. Okay. So now we go for the ANOVA things. So we are done with the both
Ma'am, you
types
can
of
take 5 to 10 minutes
tests.
break to calm down your child.
Sure. No, she's fine. Okay. So just give me a second. I'll just share the screen again.
Ma'am, if I want to conduct a study on awareness of e-wallets,
Hmm.
pre and post COVID. So in this case, if I'm collecting data from same individual at 2 point of time, pre and post, so I can apply pair sample t-test, right?
Time difference cannot be very high.
Okay,
Getting it?
but we can definitely apply pair sample t-test and we can find out,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
because what happens that when you give a lot of time difference, in that case, a study will not be that much applicable.
Correct.
So when you are applying paired sample t-test, the time difference, because the same person will not respond in the same way that you actually are looking for.
Madam, what is the maximum time period allowed on from practical point of view for
See,
what?
it depends on the it depends on the context of the study. As I told you that now, let us say that you are running doing the study for this protein drink. So in this case, tell me, what should be the time interval?
Time difference should not be more than a month.
Yeah, more than month, or let us say today you have this one, you have taken this, or tomorrow you have taken another drink, and then based on that you are concluding.
Mhm. So it depends on the context of the study.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we go for one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA, and then three-way ANOVA, and then mixed ANOVA, and then UNCOVA if our time permits. UNCOVA will do today only, otherwise tomorrow I will cover, no problem with that. So now one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA, three-way ANOVA. So what is your understanding about this thing? Tell me.
In one way, ANOVA, there is more than two groups. Like in independence, we had only two groups, right? So here we have
Mm-hmm.
more than two levels. Like, say for an example, if there is a job category, so clerical, custodial, and manager. So there are three levels.
Mm-hmm.
In independent, we had only two levels: gender, male, and female.
Okay. Mm, here in one way you are telling me, or two way?
No, I don't have knowledge about two way, ma'am. I have knowledge about one way,
Okay.
ANOVA.
Okay, so let us see how it happens. And then more important thing is that it should not get mixed up. You should have the crystal clarity among the cases when you are using independent t-test, when you are using pair t-test, when you are using one way ANOVA, when you are using other test. Okay, so that clarity has to be there. So now we discuss about one way ANOVA. Is visible? The
Yes.
PPT?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now we go for one way ANOVA. So let us say that you have been given groups here, and what is their level of coping stress. So group has been given as a nominal, sedentary group, low or moderate, and then coping stress has been given as a scale. Okay, so what you actually want to achieve from it, that is more important rather than pressing the buttons in SPSS. Okay, that is very easy. So understand your data. So the researcher recruited 31 subjects and measured how many minutes of physical activity they performed per week and their ability to cope with workplace stress. Okay, the subjects were categorized into four groups based on number of minutes of physical activity they performed, namely sedentary, low, moderate, and high physical activity groups. The ability to cope with workplace stress was assessed as the average score of a series of Likert items and one questionnaire, which allowed on overall coping with workplace. So, in variable terms, is stress coping different for different levels of group? Okay, so that we need to see that. So basically, what researcher wants to know that based on your physical activity level, does it have any influence on your ability to cope with stress or not? So what researcher has done, they have given you four categories. Okay, so they have given you four categories. Here they have taken as nominal, but you can take it as an ordinal scale also, because you can very well arrange it into order. Okay, so now you want to see that this is the group of physical activity, and then your stress coping level has been given. So whether it makes any difference or not within the groups. Okay, so this is first one. So only one way ANOVA we are doing here. So only one group we will be taking at a time. So we are only talking about physical activity level and the ability to cope with stress. Okay, so this is the simplest structure. Okay, so you have to determine whether there are any statistical significant difference between the population means of groups. Getting it? So again, we have framed the hypothesis. Same. If there is no difference, which means zero, or null hypothesis. If there is difference, this is alternative hypothesis. Clear? And now when we know what we have to do, so it is extension of independent sample t-test. So when you have more than two groups. So you remember in independent sample t-test, we have only taken gender. There were only two groups. Correct?
Yes, gender,
Yes,
male
yes.
and female.
Yes,
Gender.
male and
Yes,
So it
female.
was in a study, but only the category of group has changed. So here we have more than two categories in that group.
Correct.
Gender had how many categories? Only two categories. This group of physical activity has four categories.
More than two.
Otherwise, it is same.
Okay.
Otherwise, objective is same. So depending on the data requirement, if you only have, let us say marital status, you only have given them two categories, married and single. In that case, you go for independent sample t-test. But if you have given them four categories or three categories, in that case, you go for
ANOVA.
one-way ANOVA. Is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Other than the objective remains same, the hypothesis remains same. Okay, and then you just press those buttons in SPSS and you get your desired result. Based on that, you interpret. So, so one independent variable that is categorical, okay, with three or more. When it is two independent sample t-test, the moment it is three or more, you go for one-way ANOVA. Okay, and then one dependent variable is continuous. So remaining everything you will see, say you are checking for normality, you go for drawing the outliers, you go for Wilk-Shapiro test, and then you run the ANOVA. Okay, so see everything is same. Descript, explore, dependent, factor, normality plot with test. Then you detect the outliers if there are any. Then you interpret the value. So everything is significant. Everything is more than 0.05, which means your data is normally distributed. Clear? And then you go for running the one-way ANOVA. So compare means you click, go to analyze, compare means one-way ANOVA. And in one-way ANOVA, same thing you are doing it. If you remember, okay, coping is stress dependent and factor is group. And then descriptive, homogeneity of variance. These are the tests which we need. And this is the Tukey test, which tells us the value. Earlier it was t-test. Here we call it as Tukey test, which will tell us. And there is one something known as post hoc also. That also we need to see what it is. So this much is there. So this is how it comes. So data is presented as mean standard deviation, the ability to cope with the workplace stress. So mean value and standard deviation is presented here. Okay. So what do we need to, with this test, we need to interpret homogeneity of variances. So coping with the, so again the Leibniz statistic has come, that is 2.1. So if you see here, this is degree of freedom 2. Okay, and the significance value is 0.120. So there was homogeneity of variance as assessed by Leibniz test. P value is 0.120. So if homogeneity of variance is violated, use the results of the Welch ANOVA in the robust test. This you do not need to focus much because more or less it is easy. You do not need to make it complicated. So so when you want, so basically what it means that if you're having homogeneity of variance, in that case, you can go for Welch robust test. Otherwise, you can go for post hoc test when you need to go for multiple comparisons. So post hoc also we will see that what it means. It is very easy. So you do not need to go for technical language for it. So ANOVA, if you see here that F between groups 3 within groups 27. So and p-value is significant. So the ability to cope with workplace-related issues was a statistically significant difference between different levels of physical activity. So what did you understand so far? Tell me what I have concluded here. Tell me what did we conclude here?
Alternative hypothesis is acceptable based on the significance level of less than 0.05.
No, what I'm trying to do here, what is my objective? What I'm trying to achieve here?
Different level of
Uh,
physical activity has influence on coping with stress.
Yeah.
there is
You
no
understand?
first of all the hypothesis null hypothesis has to be
Rejected.
framed. It is rejected, which was saying that there is no difference in physical ability to cope with stress between
So you
different.
understand what I'm trying to achieve here. I'm
uh,
trying to see here is that based on different physical activity level groups, is there any difference or not? Now
yes,
this test has only told me that yes, there is a difference.
difference
This test
due to
has
the.
not told me that
Okay,
whether the low or high or sedentary or moderate, what kind of association they are showing. Did it show me?
no, it is only
It
saying
has
yes
not.
or no.
It has just told me that yes, there is a difference. But now,
Yes.
if I want to go more into deep details, if I also want to see within groups, what do I do for that?
Okay,
We will
then
apply post hoc test.
Yes.
post hoc
In
analysis.
that case, I go for post hoc. So that post hoc will tell me that low, high, what, who is telling me what, where it is significant, where it is non-significant. So the exact picture of that data will tell me.
Mhm.
Okay. So now what is the thing is here, if you saw that sentence which was very much technical, basically it means that if all my 4 activity groups are same, in that case I do not need to go further. But
Correct.
if all my 4 groups are different, low activity, high activity, they are different, in that case I need to go for multiple comparison using post hoc test.
Mhm.
That is what I want to see.
Okay.
Correct? So so far we have found that it is significant, which means that yes, there is a difference. So now this has come as multiple comparison. So this Tukey test, Tukey post hoc test, which we click, okay, it will tell me that now you see that within groups, which means that low, moderate, high, sedentary group. Okay, what kind of where it is significant. So wherever it is significant, I need to highlight. So here it is only 2 groups. Here only one, and here also again only one. So within that, this is a group which is showing me the significant difference. So this is my cross-sectional comparison within the group.
Ma'am, can you please explain once more?
Yeah. So if you see here is that group sedentary and group low. So if you want to compare it, which is showing you the significant difference?
Okay.
Moderate and high.
Correct.
Okay. So which means that
Yes.
these are the 2 people, okay, who are showing significant difference in terms of their physical activity and coping of their ability to deal
Mhm.
with stress.
Okay.
Okay. This is what I want to interpret here.
Mhm.
So again, this is the same calculation, which we do not need the formula one because software will calculate it automatically. So we do not need to learn the formula here. Okay. So this is
But
again
ma'am, this D value, do we need to mention it in our research papers? D value?
no.
Okay.
Only significance value. Because
Okay.
your hypothesis, see what we do in research, we make objective, we make hypothesis, we conduct the test, and based on significance value, we accept or reject the hypothesis.
Okay.
So when we conduct the test, the last thing is that we have to focus on our significance value.
Okay. So this is only for information. This effect size.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is the advanced thing which we in
Okay.
most of the studies will not show you. Unless
Okay.
you are going for very premium quality journals, that time they may ask.
Okay, ma'am.
So this is also if you want to see the charts, this is safe detailed analytics. If you want to see the interpretation, so here it is written here that QK post-hoc analysis revealed that the increase from sedentary to moderate was statistically significant, as well as the increase from sedentary to high, but no other group differences were statistically significant. So within the group, what is happening? That all they are telling. Okay, somebody was asking me about Leibniz test of homogeneity. Did you understand it or not? See, p-value of 0.120, which means that it is significant or insignificant.
Insignificant.
Highly significant, ma'am. Highly significant.
It is significant or insignificant? Again, I'm asking. P-value of less than 0.05 is significant. P-value of more than 0.05 is insignificant. So this is significant or insignificant?
Insignificant. Insignificant.
Insignificant, which means that homogeneity of variance is insignificant.
Yes.
Okay, so that is what Leibniz test is telling. So there was a statistically significant difference between means, and therefore we can reject the null hypothesis, accept the alternative hypothesis. This is what you need to report in your research paper. And this also you can just ignore, because this also we usually do not report. And yeah, this also not required. So basically, this one-way ANOVA is clear now. The objective of one-way ANOVA.
Yes.
So basically, if I say in simple terms, it is the extension of your independent t-test. Correct? Nothing more. Same way I need to interpret, same way I need to deal with it, and same nature of data I need. It is clear? So now we go for two-way ANOVA. If it is clear?
Ma'am,
Or you want me to run the sheet? Yeah.
ma'am, in case of Lemon's test, if the value of Lemon's test is more than 0.05, that means the homogeneity is there. Homogeneity of variance
Yeah.
is there. So that
It
means
is not there.
Huh? Okay.
What you want? What did you say?
Suppose in our case it was 0.120, that means more than 0.05. So so we can say that the homogeneity of variance is not there.
Yeah.
Okay. So in case it is about more than significance level, that means we have to use the other kind of test, Welch
Yes,
test.
yes. But that 99% it does not happen, because we prefer to keep our data into normal limits. So
Okay.
what we do is that we just go back and fix our data rather than going for those tests.
Okay, ma'am.
So that is a general convention we follow.
So our target should be to have Lemon's test less than significance level.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Now we go for two-way ANOVA. So once you understand all the test uses, then together I will just show you one sheet of each test. So probably today or tomorrow, whenever we get time. So that will not take much time. So first, the important thing is that you need to understand in which situation each test is should be used. Running the test is not a difficult task here. It's visible? It's visible? So now, see, if you understand, it is very simple. One way, two way. So in one way, if you remember, earlier I have only taken one categorical variable and one continuous variable or scale variable, correct? You understood? That time I was having categories of people who are doing physical activity and then the stress level or their ability to cope up with the stress, correct?
Yes, yes.
Here I have taken how many ordinal or nominal variables? Gender is nominal or ordinal?
So
Nominal.
five.
Education level is nominal or ordinal? If I'm taking in the
Ordinal.
category, ordinal.
Ordinal.
You see the
Ordinal,
clear-cut
ordinal.
difference. Yeah,
Nominal.
clear-cut difference is given here. So here you are taking two nominal or ordinal variables and one is your continuous variable. You understood the difference between one way and two way?
Yes, yes.
Understood, no? So earlier it was between gender. See, if I tell you the simple word, if you are running the test between gender and this politics, in that case, then I can run independent t-test.
Independent
Okay.
test.
If I want to run the test between education level and politics, I can go for one-way ANOVA. Getting it? And if I want to go for both, in that case, I need to go for two-way ANOVA. Clear it is?
Understood, ma'am. Yes, understood.
Like that, this is the only difference.
Two
Okay.
dimensions are involved.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now we go ahead. So understand the data. Gender is given, education level. So you have been given three categories in education level: school, college, university, and interest in politics. Okay, so whether you are a female and then you will belong to which group, and then what is your interest in politics. So you have taken the core based on the respondent. Okay, what do you want to respond? So in that case, what is happening? Researcher wants to understand the interest in politics influenced by gender as well as their education. Both I want together. Okay, that is why I want to go for two-way ANOVA. So specifically, whether there is an interaction between education level and gender, it is the effect level of education and interest in politics. So to answer the question, I have taken 60 participants, 30 male, 30 female, and split by the level of education. So there are 10 participants in each group. Each participant in the study completed a questionnaire that scored their interest in politics, 0 to 100. And then I want to see whether there is a difference or not. Correct? So here I am using the word interaction.
Madam, please explain again, please.
Yeah. So what is happening here that I have taken here two nominal or ordinal variables. One is gender, one is education level. Totally 60 people you have taken, 30 male, 30 female. Education level, three categories you have given them: school, college, university. And then you are capturing their score based on their interest in politics. Now you want to see based on gender and education level what kind of interest they show in politics. So together you want to see. Earlier we were doing one at a time. Okay, now we want to see two variables for interaction with politics. This is clear? So now what we do? So you want to determine whether there is any statistical significant difference between population means of group combinations. More specifically, you want to determine whether there is an interaction effect between two independent variables on a continuous dependent variable. So the nature and requirement of data is clear for two-way ANOVA. The context in which the requirement in which we have to run two-way ANOVA, it is clear. If that is clear, then we just need to run the test.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I think that is easy now to understand.
Ma'am, in case of two-way ANOVA, there is no requirement of levels, right? Like in gender, we have only two level, male and female, and in education, we have school, college, university. So there is no as such requirement, correct?
No,
That we
no.
should have more than two levels.
Once you leave the independent t-test, there after that you don't have any limitation.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Till t-test only you have the limitation. Till
Okay.
independent t-test.
Okay.
Other than that, you don't have any limitation. You can have 4 category, 5 categories. Okay,
Okay.
and then you can go for post hoc to look between the groups.
Okay.
So now, how do you set up your hypothesis? So all group means are equal, which means null hypothesis. At least one group mean is different. Alternative. Okay, all groups means are equal, and at least one group mean is different. And interaction effect, the sum of all individual interactions equal to 0. The sum does not equal to 0. So this is the general language in which we frame the hypothesis if we are running for two-way ANOVA test. Okay, if I tell you the full form of ANOVA, everybody knows that ANOVA means analysis of variance, which means that difference. We are just analyzing the difference, whether there is any difference or there is no difference. Okay, so then two-way ANOVA is an extension of one-way ANOVA, as I told you, typically used when you want to determine whether there is an interaction effect between two independent variables on a continuous dependent variable. So two independent variables that are categorical, one dependent variable that is continuous, and everything else remains same. You have to go for normality check, and then you need to run the test. Okay. See, the requirement is categorical. How many categories? No limitation on that. Okay. So now two-way ANOVA, how do we run it? So you go to analyze, then you go to general linear model. There you will have univariate. In that univariate, you need to check for dependent variable and then fixed factors, gender, education level. Both you put here, and then you need to display means for gender, education level. Okay, so and then if you want to see for plots, so you can just enter which plot you want to see, education level, gender, education level, and what are the univariate things, unstandardized coefficient you want, and then student-wise. This all will come automatically, which you just check. So once you check all these details, in that case, so pre-1 variable contains predicted values, which will be the mean of each cell of the design for a factorial two-way ANOVA. RES1, residual 1, basically variable contains the residuals, okay, which are the differences between the predicted value and the actual observed value. So the SRE1 variable contains the studentized residuals, internally studentized residuals, which are the difference between the predicted value and the actual observed value. So they all are basically you are just saving the scope for error, if any.
Madam, what is
So
studentized? Madam, what is studentized? It is a spelling mistake or
No,
standardized?
this is the term they use.
Studentized.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Standardized is different, unstandardized is different, studentized is different.
Okay.
So now outlier. So how do you perform it? So you can split the file based on gender and education level, and then you can compare groups. This is just for normality check. Okay, this is not a two-way ANOVA test. So only residual if you want to see that you can see. Otherwise, you can just run normal histogram also. That also will tell you about a normality check. So outlier test, you do not have any outlier such as, so the data is completely normal if you see all the values. Okay. So this all we have already done also. Same thing we are doing here also. So whether the interaction effect exists or not. So interaction is not statistically significant. And if it is significant, how it looks. So you see that? What is the difference in images? Tell me. what is the difference in image pattern if you see?
There is no interaction in the figures on the above row.
Yeah,
Whereas,
which means that they never meet each other.
whereas there are
Kind
three,
of parallel.
whereas in the lower row there are
They
four
cut each
instances
other.
of interaction.
They intersect each other, correct?
There, 4 chances
Which
are
means they're interacting each other.
right.
Okay. So now you see estimated marginal means of political interest. So here they are cutting each other.
Yes.
Education level is cutting.
Hmm.
But if the so if you see education level and political interest, they are interacting with each other.
Correct, correct.
But if you see for gender and political interest,
There
they
is
are not okay interact. Correct.
What does that mean, ma'am? That means from these graphs.
That means there will be no difference. If there is no interaction, then there will be no impact. There will be no difference in between the groups.
On the political interest.
Yes. Yes.
So in this case, gender is not having any effect on political interest, whereas
Yes, as of
education level is having effect
Yes.
on. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am. So that is the relevancy of interaction.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
More if you see gender and education level. So, so what is the thing that we need to interpret here is that there was a statistical significant interaction between gender and level of education for political interest. Okay. So there was a statistical significant interaction between gender and level of education for political interest, where p-value is 0.002, which is significant. So if I go back and there if I see significance value is 0.002. So this here it is significant.
In case of interaction between gender and
Yeah.
education level. Okay.
Yes.
Then it is significant. Otherwise,
Yes.
and
If
on
I go
daily
back,
basis and in
then, yeah. Okay. So gender and education level, they are telling it is significant because they're interacting with each other. This is how you will run the test, as I told you already. Okay, general linear model, univariate.
Can you please go to the previous slide, ma'am? Previous. Yes. So in this table, you mean to say only education is significant, education level, and gender plus education is
See,
having.
here we need to only see about the groups. We are not looking for the standalone entities. Okay,
But
we are not looking for gender or education level at alone. We are looking for the interaction between gender and education level.
Okay, which is significant here because
Yes,
it is less
yes.
than
Yes.
0.05. Okay.
Yes. If I want to see alone, I could have gone for one way or two way ANOVA, no?
नहीं मैडम
Sorry, one way ANOVA only.
मैम अगर if we go for individual also, that means from this table it is significant level value is 0.00, so it is showing significant. Whereas gender is 0.448, so it is insignificant.
Yes. My intention to understand here is that together whether they are interacting with political interest or not.
Yeah, which is 0.00.
That is why, that is why I'm only focusing on this.
Okay, ma'am. Understood. Thank you.
Okay, this is the whole sole objective of conducting two-way ANOVA.
Okay, so we have to see the interaction effect.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So this is how. So this is you select in two-way ANOVA and unstandardized. So this is what this is a syntax. We don't need to do that. It will come automatically. So this is the descriptive things which comes out and estimates. So estimated marginal mean value gender education. This figure already we have seen. This also we have already discussed 0.002. For university, it is basically okay where it is showing significant. So among education, which group is showing significant difference? Among school, college, university, it is university level people who are showing who are interacting more, who are showing more difference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and then if you want to see more about the gender and all, so in university also, if you see the groups female and male, so both are showing the significant.
Okay.
Okay, both are showing.
Okay, which again shows that there is no difference between male and female because the values are 0.002 and 0.002.
Yeah. So this was the graph which we have already discussed. Educational level and gender, they are interacting with each other in terms of politics. Okay. So, this is general interpretation about your two-way ANOVA. Right? When they are significant, when it is insignificant. So now you are looking at the gender thing. So in gender case, every time it is significant, which means that male and female both are showing different level of interest in politics. Okay, and if you see on education level, the school and college and both are, so every time there it is significant. So the two-way ANOVA was conducted to examine the effect of gender and education level on interest in politics. So data mean plus a standard deviation unless otherwise stated. So residual analysis was performed to test the assumptions of the two-way ANOVA. Outliers were assessed by inspection of a box plot. Normality was assessed using Shapiro-Wilk normality test, and it was normal. Okay, and there are no outliers, and residuals were normally distributed. So there was homogeneity of variance. So there was a statistical significant interaction between gender and level of education on interest in politics. And therefore, an analysis of simple main effects for education level was performed with the statistical significance. Receiving Bonferroni adjustment. These are just statistical terms. It does not mean anything. Okay, these are the name of people who just came out with this test and being accepted at 0.025 level. So basically, it is the entire exercise. What we have done is significant. So this much analysis, no need to write. It is just a detailed analysis. How do we interpret it? So that was your two-way ANOVA. Okay. So now we go for three-way. The three-way is also same thing. There is no difference actually. And let's show you how the data sheet looks for three-way ANOVA also. So till here it is clear to everybody what we have done. So far we have done independent t-test, pair t-test, and then one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA. So all that is clear?
Ma'am, in the last few slides, I could notice that for gender also, it was significant. Political interest was
yes, significant.
But there
yes,
was,
if you're taking standalone,
but there was no interaction in the graphs.
No, if you see that the graph was telling you that there was a tilted line, which means that in future they will meet at some place. It was not a completely parallel line.
Okay.
If you remember.
Okay. Yes. Okay. That means there is some likelihood of political interest between gender also.
Yes.
Okay. Understood.
Now we go for three-way ANOVA. So now tell me, guess what is the difference should come in three-way ANOVA? What else we are adding now when we are going for three-way ANOVA?
There will be 3 independent variable.
Yes. So basically now we are adding 3 categorical variables and then 1 scale variable. Understanding?
Yes.
Remaining everything is same. The interpretation, the objective. So it's visible?
Not yet. Now it is coming.
Yeah. So now you see 3 variables are coming now. Okay, gender is there, risk is there, drug. So if you based on your gender, if the consumption of drug ABC happens, what kind of risk they are exposed. So these 3 are categorical variables, and then their cholesterol levels have been measured. So 3 are nominal or ordinal, and then another one is scale variable. Correct? This is the only difference. And then again, the objective remains same. What we want to see, the interaction. Okay, so there were 3 types of drugs. So we want to see that what has happened as per the interaction in terms of risk and gender with these drugs. Wants to determine whether there's interaction effect between 3 independent variables on a continuous dependent variable. Clear it is? So again, the hypothesis remains same. All groups means are equal or they are different. All groups means are equal. Okay, for factor high, for factor low, and interaction effect, the sum of all individual interactions equal to 0 or this is not equal to 0. So 3-way ANOVA is an extension of 2-way ANOVA, typically used when you want to determine whether there is an interaction between 3 independent variables as a continuous dependent variable. Fine. So this is again it remains same. You need to have 3 independent variables, categorical, and 1 continuous variable, and then you need to do the normality check. So again, you go for normality check. You want to go for outlier testing. So it remains same. Again, you need to generate normality plot with test. So this is your normality check, whether it is telling you that it is normally distributed. And this is the only thing which is not normally distributed because it is less than 0.05. Sorry, above 0.05 it should be. So what they are telling you that cholesterol concentrations were normally distributed except for one group, okay, as assessed by this test. So what you need to see here, there was one outer assessed as a value greater than 3 box lengths from the edge of the box. This is outlier number is 57. So what you do that, you go to that data and then you can just remove it and then there will be no outlier in your data. Or you can just replace the value also. So this value they have replaced by 5.55 was the second largest. They have replaced it with 5.56. So again, this does not become an outlier now. So your data is completely normal now. So then you can run the test. So 3-way interaction. So generally linear model, univariate you go. So this time dependent variable remains again 1 and you can have fixed number of factors. So 3 you have taken here. So display means for gender, risk and drug. So you want to see descriptive statistics, estimates and homogeneity test. And this is how this text again comes. Leibniz test comes here and p-value is 0.994. So again, if you see the interaction, so what it says, there appears to be a simple 2-way drug risk interaction for males because the lines do not appear to be parallel. So if you see complete parallel lines, then only you can say there is no interaction. Otherwise, there is interaction because right now they are not meeting, but there is a possibility that they will meet.
Yes.
So interaction is there. If it is completely parallel, in that case only you will conclude that there is no interaction. So basically, you need to only analyze the image. Okay.
Ma'am, in the previous slide, the Lewis test value was more than 0.05. So our target should be it should be more than 0.05.
See, for this test, we are not that much particular. So, see, test the null hypothesis that the error variance of the dependent variables equal to across groups. So, this is what it determines. So, there homogeneity of variance for cholesterol concentration you are identifying here, which is assessed by Leibniz test for equality of variance. So, p-value is more, which means that it is not insignificant, which does not matter much, actually.
Okay, so it should be ideally more than significance level.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this is the main thing which we need to see, the interaction level, whether it is happening or not. And then if you go for significance values, yes, it is. So see only this row again, gender, risk and drug. So is it coming significant? Yes, it is coming significant, which means the interaction is happening between these 3, gender, risk and drug. So that is how interaction is happening. So only this row you need to focus. Other than that, it is not the things which we need to focus. Okay, and then again the same thing we have. So if you want to go for two-way, you want to go for one-way, that is all your wish that you can go for. So it is again between the difference between means. If you want to compare between the groups, how it happens. This is summary of result. Okay, so basically we just need to see if you are taking two pairs, gender, risk, gender, drug, risk and drug. That is how it is happening. So that time only one group is showing significant. But already you have tested for three-way, which is significant interaction. So that is the end result for your three-way ANOVA. So basically understood in which case you run one-way, two-way, three-way ANOVA, what kind of data you need to have.
Yes,
And
yes.
what are the values that we need to look for when we are proving our hypothesis. That is the important thing which we need to understand. So all the 5 tests which we have covered as of now, independent t-test, paired t-test, and one-way, two-way, three-way ANOVA. It is clear?
Clear, ma'am.
Okay. So, and then we are only left with ANCOVA. So, which we can do tomorrow, I think. I think all of you are saturated now.
Yes, ma'am. We can do
Yes,
it
ma'am,
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yes, ma'am, tomorrow.
Yeah, so that will
Tomorrow,
only initially
ma'am,
take
tomorrow.
5 minutes. I think with a fresh mind, you will be able to understand better. So, only the ANCOVA thing is left, which I will show you tomorrow. Okay,
Good enough.
fine.
Fine, ma'am.
Alright.
Fine.
So, this we need to remember that in which situation we need which test. That is the most important thing.
Yes, ma'am.
And how should be the data preparation. Okay, data preparation, and because if people are telling you that you need to run three-way ANOVA, so in that accordance you need to prepare data. So accordingly collect the data. So one continuous variable actually has to be there.
Okay.
Then only it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Clear it is? So
Yes,
we'll
ma'am.
close for the day.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes,
Have a
ma'am.
nice day.
Okay,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you. Thank
We
you
would
so
be
much, ma'am.
we would be
Thank-
connecting again then tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you, Shivangi, ma'am. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
madam.
you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.